This is one of my passions. I'm passionate about St. Louis. I'm passionate about motorcycling and the history of that. And this is a place where I can share my collection, but also celebrate what's happening in the city and creating new and innovative and unique destinations that people can discover and think St. Louis has cool stuff going on.
My need for speed brings me right here to the Moto Museum.
Maurice,
Steve,
welcome.
how you doing, man?
Welcome to the Moto Museum.
Thank you very much. I will tell you, I've never, ever, ever have sat on a motorcycle. Maybe give me some tips and a little history at the same time.
Okay, well, we're going to change that. I'm going to put you on a bike, maybe a fast bike. What do you think?
Ooh. I'm ready.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Come this way.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
This is a unique collection. It's almost all European, and there's only one or two manufacturers that are still in business. So these are all companies and designs and manufacturers that are long gone. And I've collected them here in St. Louis.
I'm fascinated by just the variety, the history. How'd you bring these bikes back here? How'd you do it?
Each bike display has a story, and it's a personal story. It talks a little bit about the bike, but it talks about the people around the world that I've met, and in some cases how I got it here. So over here we have a Polish motorcycle. It's called a Junak. I'm sure no one probably listening right now or watching right now has heard of a Junak Polish motorcycle before. So that, after I bought it, and I bought it for 900 zloty.
Zloty?
That was the currency in Poland at the time. That's $300, just so you know.
Huh.
So I bought that bike. It's over here. Maybe we'll look at it in a little bit.
Okay.
This is quite a few years ago. And the owner drove it from Poland to Mannheim, Germany. And I had a friend there, Volker Egner, who would take that, put it on a shipping container. It would go up I think it's the Rhine River, to Antwerp, Belgium, go on a shipping container to Virginia, go on a train to North St. Louis, go on a truck to my garage. And each one of these bikes has a different story like that. So we just saw the history of motorcycling in the Moto Museum, and now we're going to go tour Moto Europa. So you can see in this area, we have these really cool Italian Vespas. This is the easiest thing to ride, so this is where you would start.
Okay.
And all you need to do is twist that and it'll go.
Away it goes. I'm glad it's not going right now.
In this area, we have a very unique brand called KTM. Most people don't know what KTMs are, but they're pretty exotic. They build all race bikes for off-road racing and on-road racing. You can see these are really beautifully designed Austrian-made motorcycles.
You've got to have, what, over 100 years of history of motorcycles in this place?
112 right here.
Wow, 112 years. I mean, what does that mean to you to know that you were able to just bring all that magic into this building? What's it done for you?
Well, Maurice, this is one of my passions. I'm passionate about St. Louis. I'm passionate about motorcycling and the history of that. And this is a place where I can share my collection, but also celebrate what's happening in the city and creating new and innovative and unique destinations that people can discover and think St. Louis has cool stuff going on. Over here we have the classic brand Triumph. It's been made for 125 years. They're made in England. They're virtually the longest running continuous motorcycle manufacturer in the world. And what's neat about them is we have these classic bikes that look like what Steve McQueen might have ridden in the 1960s, but modernized. And then last, but not least, is our Ducati collection. And Ducati is the Ferrari of motorcycles. Made in Italy, Bologna, Italy. We're the only dealer, I should mention, in the city limits of St. Louis. We have everything from the Panigale race bikes like you see here, super over 200 horsepower motorcycles, which are more than a lot of cars, called a multistrada, which means basically multi-street, multi-road. It's sort of extreme for riding. You can do everything from going down the highway, down the interstate, but you could also take this up a gravel road to the top of a mountain, because this bike has won the Pikes Peak race many times, where they race to the top of Pikes Peak in Colorado. This is an awesome motorcycle. This is probably the one I would get next to add to my collection.
So we're right here in the middle of Midtown, and you talk about St. Louis, and there's a community aspect that I know that means a lot to you. Tell me about your passion for St. Louis and what you want this place to be for this city.
Sure. So I'm a born and raised St. Louisan. I grew up in Bridgeton by the airport, so I've been here for a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I grew up in the county. But the region to the world is shaped by what people see in our central core, in downtown, midtown, areas like this. And so about almost 25 years ago, I started buying buildings in, this is Grand Center, and this neighborhood was pretty rough at the time.
Yeah.
And the idea was, well, let's renovate these beautiful historic buildings that haven't been invested in decades, and let's create interesting and unique places in those buildings. Because that was 25 years ago. And I've done a whole bunch of stuff in this neighborhood, and I'm doing this other stuff over, by City Foundry and downtown and other places, because this is a beautiful city with some of the most fabulous architecture in the United States.
They say music is the soundtrack to your life. You walk in here and you see different motorcycles from different times. Is this kind of a timeline for your life in terms of where you were and thinking about how you got these things here and where you are today?
My blessed life, and I say that because I have had a very blessed life, has been associated with the adventure of both riding and collecting and exhibiting and sharing my collection and passion for motorcycles.
How does that make you feel to know that this place is a big part of people's existence?
Yeah, so we're trying to create places that create experiences and memories, not just with the Moto Museum, but some of the other developments that I've done in Midtown. I believe deeply that for St. Louis to continue and hopefully grow and be more robust than maybe we've seen in the past, we have to have a central core that when people from around the country, around the world come to St. Louis, they say, this is a cool, vibrant, dynamic city. So we need to have a vibrant urban core with unique and interesting things that create those experiences that you just mentioned. So when people either in the region or from around the country go to wherever they came from, yeah, I was in St. Louis and they had this interesting motorcycle museum, or they had some of the other things that we have here. And that elevates our brand and reputation, because we are an awesome community and we just need to tell the story better.
Create memories and smiles for whether it's motorcycle fans or someone who's casually just history fans coming in.
Fans, a lot of, yeah.
You're doing it time after time. Can't thank you enough.
Maurice, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Better believe it.